Mr. Rifai, I understand you'll be visiting Bohol and Tacloban, areas that were recently hit by natural calamities. Both provinces had tourist spots and heritage sites to rebuild. So, what steps should local government units do to resurrect the tourism industries there?
No, I think the local government and the central government are already doing what is right and what is necessary to be done. The most important part is to restore confidence and trust and faith in the ability to come back. And not just to come back, but to come back even stronger than before. You know, calamities like this are very heavy in the price that is being paid in terms of human losses and infrastructural losses. But they also represent opportunities to do what you need to do fresh, and you need to do a start. And I think the first step has already been made, which is the trust and the confidence has been restored. Our visit tomorrow is in a series of many, many visits of many other people that came, representing different international organizations and entities that wanted to express solidarity with the country and the region. And that by itself is a very, very powerful message. Then comes the implementation on the ground. And we are going to be presenting tomorrow and the day after our plans for reconstruction and recovery. And as I said, what we are thinking of and what is being done there is not just to bring things back the way they were, but to do that and in the same time improve and take an opportunity to do it right, even better than what it was before.
Okay, so sir, what are you expecting once you visit Tacloban and Bohol?
I'm expecting to hear from the people what they are feeling, how they are thinking. I'm expecting to engage with them. I'm expecting to share with them what the international tourism community that I'm coming here representing, and the United Nations family that I'm here representing. I'm hoping to be able to communicate to them how serious we are and how committed we are to support them. But I'm also hoping to be able to communicate in two-way direction on the importance of tourism in the Philippine economy and in the Philippines' future. Because that is also something that calamities like this bring up to the surface. The jobs that are created, that many of them were lost due to the events and to the catastrophes, the infrastructure that was lost, is a reminder of how important this industry is. So that's what I hope to engage with the people in my visit tomorrow and the day after. And I hope to come back that have learned a little bit more, but also that have contributed a little bit more to the confidence and the hope that the people there are building slowly, steadily, and very, very firmly.
Sir, I'd like to ask as well about the effects of mass tourism. Though it is welcomed by the economic sector, a lot of environmentalists are against it. What should be done to preserve tourist destinations being flocked by tourists?
The term mass tourism has been, it's been common to associate it with negative things. I hope that we are talking about the same thing, because if it is the concept of just dumping people on a site without proper management, without proper preparation, then definitely that is negative. But if it is representing the growth in the industry and the increase in numbers, then we disagree. Growth of the tourism industry, the increase in numbers on one hand, and the sustainability, the preservation and the protection on the environment on the other hand, are not at odds. They are not a zero-sum game. To the contrary, with proper management, with use of technology, the growth of the industry means better protection, means more revenues that are being redirected into the protection and the preservation of the environment. That's the challenge we should meet at. We should not be afraid of growth. We should not be afraid of numbers, but we should face the challenge of management of these numbers and how we make them add to the value of the site and not take away from the value of the site. So I need to make it very clear here. While unmanaged and unorganized numbers and visitations and growth can be disastrous, the management and the organization of the growth can not only be better to the site, but it also can add to the site values that were never there before.
Sir, you're here in the country as well for a conference on climate change. Can you elaborate on the role of the tourism sector in this global phenomenon?
You know, climate change has affected tourism in two contrasting ways. Tourism is both a victor and a victim of climate change. It's a victor because it definitely, like any other human activities, contributes to climate change. We estimate our contribution to climate change at 5% to the carbon footprint of the world. That's not 10%, it's not 15, it's not 20, it's 5%, but it's 5% too many as well. And we have a responsibility to bring that down to as low as possible, if not eliminate it completely. But the more important part is that we are also victims of climate change. The rising sea levels are causing serious challenges to many of the coastal destinations. The loss of biodiversity is becoming very serious. The rising levels of snow accumulation are rendering many of the infrastructure and activities in mountain and ski and mountain tourism obsolete because the snow is accumulating only on higher levels, and so on and so forth. The tropical areas that are being threatened, and the ecotourism, that's a very important trend now in tourism today, is being threatened. So we're both victims, and we need to adapt, and we need to address, and we need to add our voice to those that are fighting against climate change. But we also have to look at ourselves very honestly and very clearly and say, we're also contributing. It's a 5% as we estimated. 3% of those 5% comes from transportation, air transport, cars and trains and ships and everything. And the other 2% are coming from the hospitality infrastructure, from hotels, from other setups that are there. And we need to address both areas, areas of contribution and areas of being affected in a very serious manner.
Sir, a lot of news agencies and organizations are saying that Asia is the next IT destination. What are the challenges that our country and the tourism sector will have to face along with the influx of tourists in our country?
Let me first say that you are absolutely correct that Asia is the future of tourism. The center of gravity of the world in all economic activities, tourism included, is shifting east and south. Southeast Asia in particular, the Philippines, of which is part of the ASEAN countries, to be more specific, is the highest growing region in tourism in the world. And we're expecting it to be the #1 visited region in the world by the year 2030. So all of that poses great challenges. The rise in numbers, the rise in affluence associates itself with more important responsibilities that are to be shouldered. And the climate change, the responsibility towards the environment is on top of that. But there's also the responsibility towards the people. It's not only the planet and the people. Are the revenues, are the benefits of the tourism distributed evenly and fairly amongst people? Are people seeing at the grassroots the benefits? Is the money that's being spent in tourism remaining in the country or not? How many jobs are translated by this activity into real jobs that support the livelihood of people? All of these sustainability challenges must be addressed if we are to prepare ourselves for growth.
And sir, for my last question, a part of the agenda in your meetings in Albay is the air connectivity within the region. How do you think this will help the region's tourism industry grow, and how can we help in preventing it to become a catalyst for climate change?
No, let me address the first part of your question first. Connectivity is an absolute essential prerequisite for tourism. You can't promote a place, you can't go to a place if you can't reach it, if you're not connected to it. Especially island destinations like the Philippines, you need to reach them by air. 52 to 55% of the people of the world reach their destinations by air. In island destinations, it's 80, 85, 90%. Probably in the Philippines, it's even closer to 100%. You can't get to the Philippines if you can get by ship, of course, but in terms of numbers, air connectivity is an absolute essential. And the more we promote the concept of open skies, the more we liberalize our skies and our aviation policies, the more we benefit on the long term. Connectivity has been proven to be a very important contributor to all economic sectors. It's not just us that say this, the IMF, the World Bank, everybody's saying that connectivity is definitely connected to competitiveness and to the ability of the economy to refresh itself and move forward. Now, second part of your question is also very important. Okay, how do we manage the growth? We manage it the same way that we manage the crowds. We manage it by proper management, by use of absolutely state-of-the-art technologies that are being developed now in terms of control, in terms of mitigation of carbon footprints and all of that. And it's been done. It's been done in many, many parts of the world. The challenge is not an impossible challenge. To keep growing, but at the same time, keep addressing the real challenges and the real problems.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you.
Thank you.